Hey Flameborn, I'm Christoph from Keen and I'm Senior Game Designer for Enshrouded. I'm here to share some news about our next update, Wake of the Water. As you know, Enshrouded has hundreds of cool items like weapons, shields, armors, rings, ammunition, food and other consumables. After a year and a half of piling on systems and items, we've taken a breather to get a good look at how our systems interact, and we identified areas where we can improve Enshrouded. So let's dig in and talk itemization. First of all, we have reviewed all weapons in the game. Many weapons have names and visuals that convey a certain fantasy, a theme. But when we checked their stats, they didn't really line up in many cases. A good example of this are the ice-coated daggers, a set of daggers whose cool name and visuals imply ice damage. Currently, however, they only deal cut and pierce damage. So after our overhaul, they will now deal pierce and ice damage, along with gaining extra ice damage perks when upgrading them. And this is just one example out of many. Across the board, we made sure that weapon stats will now better match their visual and thematic identities than ever before, to be honest. We are also tweaking many armor and ring stats, as well as food items, so make sure to check out all of the exciting new changes coming with Update 7. We also had a close look at weapon durability and increased it across the board. Durability now also scales with item level and with item rarity. Also note that just like with previous changes to dropped items, weapons that you already acquired in the game will retain their existing stats. The new and improved stats will only apply to equipment obtained after Update 7 releases. We are bringing another pretty significant change to Enshrouded's itemization by allowing players to craft any lore weapon they previously unlocked at any stage in the game. We know, for instance, that many of you love the light-emitting wailing blade that can be found in a lore questline in the early game. With Update 7, you can actually craft a higher level version of the light-emitting wailing blade once you have out-leveled the previous version of it. There will be craftable lore weapons for every weapon type, supporting all classes and all playstyles. This will also help those players who are forever unlucky with RNG and cannot seem to find the right weapon they are looking for. We have also added many new awesome weapons to the drop pools of enemies. From the Fell Thunderbrute Greatsword to the Scavenger's fearsome Acid Cleaver, a whole host of these weapons can now be looted from defeated foes. Enemy weapon drops will now scale with enemy level and range in rarity from common all the way up to legendary. Now that there are many more options for obtaining weapons at all stages in the game, we feel like it's a good time to finally close the loop on a long-running loot exploit. With Update 7, loot chests will now save their looted state, which means players won't be able to reload the game or restart the server to try their luck again. The chest content, however, will respawn eventually, just as we had originally intended. Some of the feedback we often heard revolved around players wanting to start out as mages, but feeling that there's a lack of support for mages in the early game. We hear you and we agree with you. That's why we introduced a new spell with Update 7, Firebolt, which is a single target, quick casting spell that can be crafted with minimal requirements, ensuring that as soon as you find bones and resin, you can craft your first staff and your first spell. Finally, currently Enshrouded offers a lot of options to basically just shrug off many combat encounters because regeneration is very high, especially in the mid and late game. So we think that this makes Enshrouded's combat somewhat less interesting because players will often just retreat from heated combat situations, take a little break and then continue on fighting shortly after with full resources, just because of their passive regeneration. By reducing HP regeneration, we're aiming to make health management an issue you have to prepare for ahead of time, by crafting potions, eating appropriate meals and so on. For similar reasons, we are also slightly bringing down stamina and mana regeneration values across the board. This also allows us to introduce health, mana and stamina regeneration to other sources, so that if you want to emphasize these attributes with your character, you will still have options to do that. Oh, here comes another banger. Update release date! There's no update. Finally, we'd like to share some news about Enshrouded's next update, Wake of the Water. So we have tried as hard as we could to hold ourselves to our October deadline. However, we knew implementing water in the game at a satisfying level of quality in that time frame was going to be a hard challenge. We tried, but water always finds a way and it gets like everywhere, and so do water related issues. Yeah, it's not easy. Making all of these new features work sometimes feels like trying to shoot an arrow out of the nose. All of this is to say that in order to give Wake of the Water all the polish that it needs, we are pushing back the release date by a few weeks to November 10th. Some of you who joked on our Discord about the update releasing on October 42nd were actually much closer than you thought. So yeah, we're kind of holding our promise, we guess. So these are just some of the thrilling steps we are taking in Update 7, Wake of the Water. Our team now has multiple developers who are dedicated to all aspects of combat, and it is our goal to keep improving combat in Enshrouded together with your feedback. So we hope you enjoyed this quick dive into the upcoming changes to some of the core systems underpinning Enshrouded. We thank you for your time, and so now it's not just water when, but maybe also new weapons when? Soon. So, regeneration balance. Oh, players, you're gonna hate this. Oh, please don't s*** us. Regeneration balance, here we go. Serious now, seriously now. Yes, we're gonna do this for the players. First of all, we have
goes in every direction, just not the correct one. You know?
Yeah, also not forget to smile and be chill and cool and yo. Let's not use that. We'll see. Let me take a sip of water. Oh my gosh.